So the reality is that CBTi is an incredibly hard thing to do, and I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you that, because so much else online is all about quick fixes, tips, tricks, hacks. Wear socks to bed, eat some L-theanine, take this melatonin. But if you've got an incredible amount of anxiety, incredible amount of worry around your sleep, if you're absolutely terrified of being in bed at night time, if being in bed causes you so much anger, so much frustration, so much stress, if you've spent years fighting and struggling with your sleep and insomnia is right in front of your face, it's the only thing that you think about every single day, if you've got depression from it, if you've got anxiety from it, if it's something that's controlling and dictating every single one of your waking thoughts, it doesn't matter how many hot baths you have, how many kiwi fruits you take, none of these things are going to get to the root cause of the problem. And actually, the more of these short-term quick hacks and fixes that you do and that don't work, the more your head gets lower and lower and lower that insomnia can ever be overcome. And when you find these quite hard behavioural changes, which is what CBTi is, I wouldn't say my work is strictly CBTi. I blend in things like acceptance and commitment therapy, exposure therapy. Take a look at my other videos to know exactly what I do. But when you come to these quite hard behavioural and thought pattern changes and you expect these things to be another quick fix, you try them and they don't work immediately, just like everything else that you've tried hasn't worked immediately. It's very easy to throw them out and then just move on the conveyor belt to the next thing and the next thing, because who wants to do quite hard behavioural changes if they're not going to work? So I think that real deep understanding is to know that what I share with people is the gold standard, most evidence-based treatment. It does work, but it does take commitment. And it is a hard thing to do. Changing your behaviours isn't easy. Changing your thought patterns isn't easy. Changing your habits isn't easy. But living with insomnia isn't easy either. It takes away your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth. For me, it took away my marriage, my business, my house. So I suppose just having that real understanding when you are struggling with your sleep in the short term, struggling to do these quite hard behavioural changes that I outline in my videos. I'm going to provide some links in the comment section of a few places for you to start if you are quite new to the channel. Just understanding that they are difficult, but just try to look far enough ahead to see what it will give you when you're free of your insomnia. So there's an amazing quote by Ronnie Coleman, who's a bodybuilder, and he says that everyone wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one wants to lift heavy ass weights. And that's kind of how it is with CBTi, especially in the early stages where you're doing things which run counter to everything that you've done in the past, when you're spending less time in bed rather than more time in bed, when you're actively choosing to do things like eat late in a restaurant, to stay in a hotel if you've never stayed in a hotel for years because of your insomnia, to exercise before bed if you've stopped doing that, to essentially start getting stuck back into your life again. Doing things which are the complete opposite of everything that you've done in the past when you were struggling with your sleep. It's such a hard thing to choose to do. You're going to get setbacks, you're going to get relapses, you're going to have time so that you don't want to do it. So that real understanding why you're doing it, getting that real confidence before you start that it is going to work for you by looking at all my other videos, getting that deep understanding of what it actually is, will be incredibly, incredibly helpful to you. But do it with some self-compassion, do it with some kindness. Nobody does this perfectly. CBTi is an incredibly hard thing to do, so you do need some self-compassion in order to get through it, to fall off the horse and get back on it again. All right, a little bit of a rambly video this one, but yeah, I just wanted to set the record straight